will get it this time. And Donnell Thompson got him down low and brought him down near the 20-yard line. But they've had some long drives today. This one now 6 minutes long and counting. Oh, a little bootleg. Fakes it, the run, and dumps it out to Page, and Page is short of the first down at the 15-yard line.
Oh, they're going to have someone fix the dent in the field. Did you see Page fly through the air and land? I think he's going to make about a 2-yard hole out there in the turf. No one picks up Page until late Chris Good comes up to make the hit. Now watch Page flip up in the air and then land on the turf. I mean, there must be some kind of little hole there, huh? Boom! Oh, my goodness.
You said there was no crown on this field before the game. There might be one now, huh? Page, what a very productive day. A career-high day catching the ball. 3rd down and 4. Open, caught. Fred Banks down to the 1-yard line. And it's 1st and goal, Miami. And I mean, he was wide open.
Well, the Colts are trying to put pressure on Marino, and to do that, they're trying to rush people, and they're going to be singled up one-on-one. On the right side of the screen, Banks is just simply one-on-one with the defender Ball, and Ball could not keep up with him. Banks takes it upfield nicely, I might add, nearly gets it to the end zone. You see number 31 there, the defensive back, Michael Ball. He just can't keep up with Banks in that one-on-one situation. Marino delivers the ball timely, just right on target.
They got a couple of tight ends in now. 161 yards for Marino, 1 touchdown pass. He only has 7 on the year. 1st and goal from the 1. He's going to try and get number 8. And it's incomplete, sailing it over the head of Farrell Edmonds on 1st down.
Well, Marino just threw that ball away. He would have liked to have Edmonds that time, who really has been somewhat of a disappointment in this Miami offense. Farrell Edmonds is a highly touted tight end who had a good rookie year. He made it to the Pro Bowl as an alternate, but he hasn't been making the kind of plays that Coach Shula expects him to make. He has tremendous speed for a tight end. He's a good blocker. He can catch the ball, but he just hasn't been making the plays. That time, he didn't get open.
2nd down and goal from the 1. Smith and Page in the I formation. Beatty, the tight end, in motion. Smith gets it. Good play by the Colts. Donnell Thompson, Harrod, and Fred Young all there, and they'll lose a yard or 2 back to the 3.
Well, they're going to the right side over here behind Galbraith and Dennis, and there's just good penetration by Harrod and Donnell Thompson that time. They just fired through there to penetrate into the backfield.
It's at the 2-yard line. Miami trying to put this one on ice. Page outside, touchdown Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins, it's safe to say now, will go to 6 and 1.
I mean, Ron Meyer, how many things can go wrong with him in this house of frustration? Tony Page carrying the ball outside around end for a touchdown. I don't think Page even envisioned this happening this season. There's a great block out there by the tight end, Greg Batty.
And another great block by Mark Logan, too.
An end sweep for Tony Page.
Stoyanovich for the extra point. It's good. Dolphins well in control. 27-7. Miami in control here over Indianapolis with 6:21 left.
Each team had one more possession, but neither team could score. So the Dolphins have now moved to 6 and 1. Indianapolis at 2 and 5. Steve, where do both these teams go from here?
Well, the Dolphins have really improved their football team defensively and in the running game. They've always had the passing game, and they've shored up their offensive line with a couple of rookies that are playing real well. They are really going in a real positive direction. The Colts, now that they have quarterback injuries and they have those problems to deal with, they have to get their running game going if they're going to win any football games here in the near future.
All right. Well, because we were able to leave that game early, we can now go to another. The Jets are visiting the Houston Oilers in the House of Pain, or game, whichever one you would like to use. The Jets are leading 17-12. Houston has the first down and 10 at their own 26. They've got no timeouts left. There's just 41 seconds left in the game, so a field goal won't do it. Our match commentators are Marv Albert and Paul Maguire.
Starting from the 26. And it is completed, but as Paul mentioned, no timeouts. The clock is running as Jeffries made the catch. You can see 27 seconds left. That picked up 17. We're down to 20 seconds remaining. The Jets with a 17-12 lead. Now Moon going sideline. And now the clock is stopped. Curtis Duncan on a 25-yarder.
Do you know that he throws this ball right through the arms of Travis Curtis? Watch number 49 downfield. There's Duncan. But watch 49. It went right through his hands. Instead of trying to catch the ball, just knock it down. That's what you call threading it. Right through the arms of Travis Curtis.
13 seconds remaining. Houston at the Jet 38. And Moon again with a sideline pass. Did he get out? Yes, he did. Ernest Gibbons stops the clock with 7 seconds left. That picked up 11. Well, the Jets have had a couple of nightmares down the stretch. Last week, they lost with only 19 seconds remaining as Kelly completed the touchdown pass. They're down to 7 seconds, clinging to a 5-point lead.
Two things can happen here. One, Moon can throw a quick out right now to pick up about 8 or 9 yards to get him closer to the end zone, because if he goes to the end zone one time, the game's over.
Houston at the Jet 27. And Moon goes end zone. It is broken up.
Game's over.
Pass intended for Jeffries. The clock showing zeros. Odegaard and Booty on the coverage, and there's the gun. It is all over. This time the Jets hold on, and they defeat the Houston Oilers. The Oilers.
Well, there's an upset. The Jets beating the Oilers 17-12. The dejected Warren Moon, as you're seeing right there. Houston wondering what's going on. Now let's go to Gary, who's got the rest of those early results.
Buffalo Bills final. They win it 27-10 over the New England Patriots. 2 Scott Norwood field goals in the second half and a Jim Kelly pass to Thurman Thomas tying that one up. The New York Jets and the Houston Oilers you've already seen. At Green Bay, though, things got worse for the Vikings in the second half. Down at half-time, Rich Gannon near his own end zone, trying to throw the short pass, but Sean Patterson picks it up and rumbles home for the touchdown. Then, on 4th down, 1 yard to go, Mikowski fakes the handoff and runs it in himself, 9 yards. Gannon did bring the Vikes back late on. Long bomb, 49 yards to Anthony Carter. It's tipped, he catches it in the end zone, but things are too late. Minnesota Vikings 10, Green Bay Packers 24, and the Vikings have a record of 1-6. The Philadelphia Eagles staged one of their fourth quarter comebacks. They were down 20-14 at Dallas, but a Calvin Williams touchdown catch won it for them in the dying seconds. Finally, the Detroit Lions beating the Saints at home 27-10 to the Lions, and Steve Walsh on his home debut benched in favour of the man he originally replaced, John Fourcade, after throwing 3 interceptions. I'll be back with the late kickoffs in a couple of minutes. For the moment, back to Mick.
Well, I'm sorry to see that John Fourcade wasn't able to pull it off for the Saints, one of our studio guests earlier in the year. Steve, Minnesota lost again today. What is going on up there?
Well, that's, you know, one of the big puzzles in the NFL. They have as much talent as any team in the NFL, and for some reason they're having a problem this year putting it all together, and it's, you know, it's just something that's snowballing there, and it, you know, and then the Igwe-Bikwe thing, and it just keeps getting worse, it seems like.
Herschel Walker, I mean, Herschel Walker is a great running back. There's not a question of mark there. I mean, he is a great running back. Are they just not using him right?
Well, you know, that happens, that you have to fit the player into the system, and vice versa. You have to fit the system to the player. And I think that that really hasn't happened there. And, you know, it's something that if that football team is going to play to the level it's capable of, they have to be able to use Herschel Walker to a higher level and get more productivity out of him.
All right, well, now let's go to Gary again. He's got those 4 o'clock kickoff games and what's happened so far.
Well, not a lot of action, actually, in the late kick-off games. We start in San Francisco. The 49ers haven't lost since Week 11 last year against Green Bay. They're unlikely to do it today against the Browns, but at the moment it's 0-0 in the first quarter. Washington Redskins, nothing. New York Giants, nothing. The Giants have won the last 5, but no score so far there. There is a score in Phoenix. Chicago Bears have gone 7-0 up. Neil Anderson on a 2-yard run. But the Bears have a bad record in hot weather. They're 5-6 in hot cities over the last 5 years. Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Vinny Testaverde today, so Chris Chandler gets his first start at quarterback. No score there between them and the Chargers. Finally, a look ahead. Tonight's game, Cincinnati Bengals at Atlanta Falcons, 2 of the best pass offences in the NFL versus 2 of the worst pass defences, so that should be a high scorer. And tomorrow night, the 2-4 Los Angeles Rams try to get their season back on track against the 3-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. Back to Mick.
Thank you, Gary. Steve, the Raiders are 6-1. You guys are a couple of games behind them. You're playing them next week. I know that when Raiders visit Kansas City, it's war. Darth Vader and everything else comes out to fight them. What's it going to be like?
Well, it is. It's going to be like a war. It's going to be a real battle. They're playing outstanding football. They're 6-1, but they're coming to Kansas City, and you know, we're undefeated in Kansas City this year, and I think we lost 1 game last year at home. So, you know, we have to win this football game. They're playing outstanding. We've played well at home, and we've had some problems on the road. So it's going to be a real battle, and it's going to be one of those hit them in the mouth kind of games. And you know, you're not going to leave much on the field. You're going to be pretty exhausted when the game's over, especially for an old guy like me.
Bo Jackson, he's up there in your neck of the wood during the baseball season playing for the Kansas City Royals. He's back with the Raiders. How much of a difference is that going to make?
Well, he adds a lot to their offense. You know, last week was the first week that he was back since baseball, and he scored 2 touchdowns. And, you know, I mean, the guy is just, he's amazing. And you know, he's going to be pumped up to come to Kansas City, and Kansas City really, you know, appreciates his talent because, you know, he plays his baseball there. And so he'll get a lot of cheers, but there also is a lot of Raider haters in Kansas City, so you know, it's the crowd will be into it, and definitely both teams will be into it, and that'll be an outstanding game.
We've seen a few teams turn it around this year. I mean, we've seen Minnesota do it the wrong way. We've seen Chicago Bears turn it for the good, and the Raiders. What have the Raiders done that's made it so different this year?
Well, they're just playing real physical football, kind of what the old, you know, Art Shell has kind of brought that back to them, and that's how the old Raiders used to play. They used to just beat you up, you know, and so that's what they're doing right now. They're playing outstanding defense. They're running the ball very well, and then, you know, Schrader's dropping back and throwing long balls for big plays. And the thing that Schrader's doing is I think he's only thrown 1 interception, 2 interceptions up to this point. And you know, that's something that has really helped their football team. They're not turning it over. They're playing solid defense and running it well. So usually that means that you're going to win most of your games.
All right, well, make sure you stay on your feet. Don't let Howie Long pound you. And I've been a lot easier on you than I know the defensive line for the Raiders were. Thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you, Mick.
For the results from those 4 late games, as well as a roundup of all of today's action, then just call the Channel 4 update line. Simply ring 0898 442 444. Your calls will, of course, be charged at 44 pence per minute standard rate or 33 per minute off-peak. Alternatively, all of the results and highlights on Channel 4 at 7:54 and 8:54 tomorrow morning. Or you can turn to the official NFL teletext service on page 470 of 4Tel. We'll be back on Friday with American football Red 42 at 5:30. That program will also be repeated at 12:30. Next Sunday, we'll have more exciting action as we take our first look at the leaders of the AFC Western Division, the LA Raiders. They journey to Kansas City to visit Steve. And as I said, we'll have highlights of that game next Sunday at our regular time of 8 p.m. So until then, from Gary, Steve and myself, good night.
If you're fascinated by the shoulder-padded stars of the NFL, you might like the official Channel 4 American Football Annual, available for $11.95, or the essential guide to the same